Hello, my name is Jessica with MamaShakti Prenatal. MamaShakti means Mama Power. Today we are talking about healing your pelvic floor after baby. So a lot of people believe that healing our pelvic floors after we give birth is mostly about exercise. And while that's not wrong, exercise is an important component of healing our pelvic floors. There's a lot more that goes into it, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So, whether you gave birth vaginally or via cesarean section, your pelvic floor still went under a lot of strain from being pregnant for 9 months and carrying your baby and having a lot of downward pressure placed on your pelvic floor. So if you gave birth vaginally, your pelvic floor is a basket of muscles that sits right here in the bottom of the pelvis. And there's a growing baby, the weight of your uterus, your amniotic fluid, the weight of your baby, that it's all putting excessive downward force on your pelvic floor. And if the baby comes out through the vagina, it passes through the pelvic muscles and tissues into the vaginal vault. And as it does that, imagine if this were your pelvic floor and prior to birth, it was about like this. And then as your baby comes out, it softens and spreads so baby can pass through those muscles and tissues. And for at least the first 8 weeks after birth, it really needs a lot of rest. Now, there's a lot of things that we can do while we rest that help to slowly and gently heal our pelvic floor muscles and tissues. I like to refer to this technique that I use as the BAM method. BAM stands for B, breathing, A, alignment or posture, and M, mindful movement. So combining those three things together really helps you find an empowered pathway to healing your pelvic tissues after birth. So what we do is we incorporate all of these things, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them, and I'm going to direct you to some free resources at the end of this video where you can hear me talk about and demonstrate even more of these things. So first, we're going to start with breathing. Now, breathing is really great to do through all stages of motherhood, during pregnancy, while you're birthing your baby, and in postpartum. And guess what? You can start breath exercises the day that you give birth. So when you are just a freshly birthed person with a freshly birthed baby on your belly or your chest, you can start practicing this. So I will encourage my moms to and my clients right after they give birth to start this breathing exercise, because not only does it help to encourage your pelvic tissues to heal, it also encourages your nervous system to heal. And nervous system support is, believe it or not, a big part of pelvic health support and healing. So what we do is we work on breathing techniques, and I have these all in my YouTube videos and in some of my other resources, but we work on breathing techniques that help to exercise our diaphragm, because our diaphragm sits right here in our rib cage, and our pelvic floor is its mirror, its partner, or its best friend. And as you inhale and you fill up your lungs, your diaphragm and your pelvic floor will both go down. So as you bring air into your lungs, your diaphragm goes down, your pelvic floor softens and lengthens. And then as you exhale, your diaphragm is the muscle that pushes the air up out of your lungs, and your pelvic floor contracts and engages. So even if you can't feel that, if you just gave birth and you feel maybe a disconnect down there, if you work on diaphragm breathing, you will be working your pelvic floor, your core, your diaphragm in a very safe and healthy way to nurture your body towards healing. So diaphragm breathing is an inhale through the nose, filling chest, ribs, belly, sides, back, and an exhale through your mouth, allowing all that air to empty from the bottom out. And work on finding several diaphragm breaths. I always suggest starting with 10. 10 is a doable number, and it will take you about 2 or 3 minutes to do those breaths. And 2 or 3 minutes of breathing practice each day is really doable for everybody. You can do it while you're feeding your baby. You can do it as you're laying in bed getting ready for bed. You can do it at any point in your day, anywhere you are. So it's a very accessible practice to get you on your road to healing your pelvic floor after baby. The second part of the BAM is alignment. So, what we think of when we think of alignment is our posture. After we have our baby, our hips spread, our ribs have flared from carrying the baby in our womb for 9 months, and we want to work on finding a posture that is safe for our body and will not put more pressure on our pelvic floor. So I often encourage my mamas and clients to be mindful over militant. So not being so strict with your movement that you have to be, perfectly aligned all the time, but that you try and keep your head back so your neck is over your heart, your shoulders are soft and relaxed. And we want to make sure that we're not flaring our ribs or splaying our ribs. So we just kind of pull those ribs gently in, and this is where diaphragm breathing will help you bring those ribs back in and down. And then we also want to make sure that we're not gripping our tummies. So I'll see a lot of moms postpartum really pulling or not hugging, but really kind of sucking or gripping in with their bellies. And this can put a lot of downward pressure on our pelvic floor. So imagine if we were sucking in and this were our belly, it would just push in and down and put a ton of pressure on your pelvic floor. So you want to let your belly be soft and relaxed as much as you can. And then we just keep those ribs stacked over the hips, hips over the knees, knees over the ankles. Now, there are many ways to make sure you're well aligned while you're sleeping, using support pillows, while you're resting, while you're driving, while you're sitting in a chair. And I do go over all of these in great detail in my course, Your Empowered Pregnancy and Birth, that has 3 hours, actually almost 4 hours now, of postpartum content. And one of those sections talks about keeping your body really well aligned and your posture awareness good, as it is so important that postural adjustment and those postural habits during our postpartum healing. They play such a big, important role in our pelvic health healing. So, alignment of body. And lastly, is our mindfulness practice. Mindfulness practices include movement, mindful movement, but also include things like guided meditation. Oftentimes I talk to my clients who have just given birth, who are new mothers. They feel a great disconnect with their lower abdominals, with their pelvic floor, because everything was stretched so much as they were growing that baby in their belly. And once they deliver, it's really difficult to feel the muscles of the lower abdominals of the pelvic floor, or feel much more than maybe some tenderness or pain or swelling. So we want to, our body kind of reverts to cutting ourselves off from the areas that are causing us pain, discomfort, numbness, and tingling, and switches off a shift, like a switch. So you're not connected to these areas anymore. So it's really important to be mindfully aware and stay connected to your body, your womb, your pelvic tissues, your lower abdominals. And one of the ways that I love to do this is starting with guided meditations. Now, I have some free guided meditations on my YouTube channel, and you can find those in Postpartum Recovery. If you are one of my subscribers to my newsletters, you will find links for a whole bunch of guided meditations in my subscriber newsletter. And I will put the link for you to join that newsletter for free in the caption of this video. You will also find several guided meditations, mindful mobility practices, mindful exercising, and postpartum yoga practices in my course, Your Empowered Pregnancy and Birth. So those are some great resources for you. I have some resources that are completely free, and then I have some resources that are available in my courses. So I'm going to be running a holiday special for the month of December, so you can check out those prices. Will be discounted for the month of December. The courses are really affordable already, but around the holiday seasons, I take them down to an even more affordable price. so everybody can afford to purchase them. Now, I'm also going to be going live the month of December with Janice from My Pelvic Floor Muscles on Instagram. And we're going to be doing a holiday giveaway. She has teamed up with about 30 other creators on Instagram to be doing a big pelvic health centered giveaway for all sorts of people. So she's giving away thousands of dollars in prizes, and I'm going to be giving away some of my courses for her giveaway. So you make sure that you follow her, and I'll put all of the contest rules also in the caption of this video, and guide you to some of those free resources and where you can find my courses. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, Jessica of MamaShakti Prenatal. Thanks, guys.